And Louis just stepped out a little bit. He will be back soon, he said. But he said, go ahead and he will catch up later. He was just wanted to kind of come by, and he said he was not so much interested in or not experienced in the UI. So,
well, me neither, but
yeah, sure.
we'll figure something out.
Yes, we've done that before. That's true. So how should we proceed? What would you suggest? Should we just start with Miro, or I've been playing today or been working with Figma.
Figma, yeah.
That's quite
I use
interesting.
it at work as well.
Oh, this was the first time I used it, and it was I was impressed by it. It's a lot of stuff around, and you can do many things easy. So,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
have
Figma
no
is
result
great
yet.
as well.
And Stefan Thiel normally uses it for the design of the GUIs. He's from Non Studio, and he looks like he's going to join, but he has on this time it's very difficult to meet with us. So
that's all right.
And he will.
You can always get feedback at a later time.
That's fine. That's good too.
All right, so yeah, how shall we start?
I think
quite difficult.
I think basically we should just go through the screens and see what needs to be there and what's not there. And
yeah, let us continue in Miro because
let's
we
see.
can just work in there.
Yeah.
We already have all the screens there, although they might need a little update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, little is fine. I mean, we first have a rough idea of how things should be.
Yeah, let us start with the operational modes,
Mm-hmm.
because those
starting
are
with drive, yeah. So that's
with the drive. Mainly also the colors, and what information we want on the screen.
Yes.
Right?
And also compare it with the Nano. See what the Nano currently has, because there's quite a lot of stuff on it that I personally took off, but I don't use, but other people seems to use it. For example, the speed and the heading you can get and all these kind of things on it. So
was that on the Nano as well?
yeah,
or is it like
like
a toggling screen?
No, there are two screens basically. Every they go one by one. So you have a Nano close by you can see, or you don't have?
Got one in my hand. Just looking at it, right? Yeah, it was, I think, the altitude and then the total kilometers driven.
And the height is there.
Yeah, the altitude.
And if you switch to survey mode, you see the becquerel and the dose should show up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can just keep use this as like some starting point. I do think the longitude and latitude on screen is nice to have.
Yeah, I think so too. That was at least that's my experience.
But then, like, if we have multiple areas on the screen, also the microsieverts are currently missing in the design. Are we all on Miro, by the way?
No, maybe easier if you share the screen, because then we
Oh,
also
yeah.
the recording is better.
Oh, yes, that is true. Share screen. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we look at the current design, we have the CPM, and we also have the microsieverts below it.
Yeah, that we need that.
Something like this. It could be like
something like
that. Yeah. All right. By the way, I fixed the rendering of the CPM values.
Okay.
So it's now like a clean transition from bigger to lower values, and it doesn't flicker anymore.
Ah, that's great. That's nice. Yeah, that's very nice.
Yep.
Then that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So we have this. Oh, did I move too much? Wait. All right.
Yep.
Something like this. Yeah, so we have the top half is then the values, CPM values.
And the CPM should be K CPM and normal CPM, because if you have a much higher value, you have to think about it. It automatically switch to K.
Yeah, that is true.
On the nano too, we have that.
Yeah, that also like M for millions, or
yeah. Millions was not necessary, we found out. I haven't seen.
Does the 7-segment font have I don't think it has other values.
It's really ASCII. It doesn't have a K. So the K CPM should be with the CPM then.
Oh, then it should be here, like.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
A small K?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Okay. But then you automatically have to switch it automatically. So if it's more than 1,000, that should be okay. And the spacing, so if it's more digits, then the CPM moves to the right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the current. I was testing with switching between 99 and 100, and then
then it moves.
It moves. We can also do
like, very important, because
Yeah. So I tested that, and that works. I mean, that was the issue with the rendering, but
yes, I can imagine. And the same for
yeah,
the
I think on
microsieverts.
Robin's version they had the CPM before the value, so you wouldn't have that problem.
No, I think Robin's version we didn't have, but I think I modified it. Originally not.
Oh, right. Okay.
It doesn't matter so much.
I saw a screenshot somewhere, so I assumed.
Oh, one important thing I think, personally, if I noticed that if you start to switch it on, you have to press the start lock button. I would have that automatically, being honest. That
for the drive.
Switch it on, it directly records.
Yeah, I think that was when we talked about with ASB during the summer.
I forgot. What does it mean?
Perhaps it is. I don't know. We could like start logging to a drive file right away.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we should make it in a config that you can set it up that you don't want it to start automatically.
Yeah, perhaps it could be like a device config, but for now we can just say we start automatically. That's not define or design things. So it would by default say stop log.
Yeah, stop locking.
No, it says stop log. Oop, the menu
Menu.
is on the right
Yeah.
now. I think all the menus are on the left.
Hmm.
Okay, well, doesn't matter. So for these values on the bottom then, do we keep it like this, like it is right now?
Maybe the coordinates, this should be only long and then the number and the Latin number, not coordinates. I mean, I assume that. Or altitude
just say
can be alt
or
and then
Um,
just abbreviation is fine.
or just the words longitude, latitude, altitude.
Yeah. Or longitude,
Yeah.
latitude. Yeah, that's even better.
yeah, that's what
longitude,
it currently
latitude.
is.
Okay. Well, no, no, just remove the word coordinates.
Coordinates, that's what I meant. Yeah,
We
same
can also
thing.
say coordinates or location and then have like the longitude, something. Oh,
No,
No.
I would just put the latitude and then colon and
okay, so okay.
the numbers.
Yeah, that's all right. Latitude. Do we align them then, like it is right now?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, that would be nice. You have to put the number.
I mean,
in.
it is it is done right now, but I don't know about the font type at the moment. Like
What?
it's currently like mono spaced, so that's quite nice to line it
Yeah,
up.
that's fine. Those things are fine there.
Okay.
But
Now
do
we
we
can
want
just
to
keep-
use the full word longitude?
Latitude, yes, I think so. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Latitude.
Oh,
and
okay.
longitude.
So we'll
Yes.
just keep it like the way it
Yeah.
is right now then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I like that.
And the I think we're the satellites would be a secondary thing now. I mean, I'm looking at my Nano right now, and well, it says no GPS. Well, never mind. You have to put it next to the window. Yep. Longitude, latitude, altitude. And then satellites need to needs to be secondary. I mean, yeah, no, we spent a whole lot of time on figuring out the number of satellites, but it's really it's not the main point. The main point is where are you?
Mm-hmm.
And then the altitude is that important?
Yeah, that can be important. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you're in a plane or if you're high up, it's a different radiation.
Yes. But we can make like a fly mode.
Yes.
Where the screen is basically the same, but it locks to a fly file.
Typically latitude before longitude.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
So also, yeah, latitude, longitude. I think on screen, these are currently, these values are bigger, but that's okay. Just about positioning now.
Yeah, about.
Oh, God. Something like this. Okay.
Yeah.
And then on this side of the screen, what kind of information do we want there, or is that too much cluttering?
No, we can use it. We should use it, I think. So totally different should be there. The height, or the height we have already. That's the altitude. What else? The battery status can be where? In the bottom. So just then you see.
Well, we can also move like satellites on this side. Like you have the main coordinates over here.
Yeah.
Selected too much again.
No, that's fine there.
I think there is some border which is. I think I can remove that. Or not? I don't know. Looks weird. Yeah, so we have these three. Just
Yeah, you
Hmm.
should lock the bottom one, so that's easier.
I should lock this
Just lock that one.
where.
There, yeah. So,
All right, that's a lot better. Thanks.
that's easier to work.
Yeah. Okay, so we have three values here. Or we could say, like, perhaps one option is to have on the left side the values that you would use more, like total driven maybe,
Hmm.
and on the right side more like information, like perhaps altitude,
Like
satellites, and
active
then
things. Yeah.
what if we do it like this?
Totally different. And maybe can we have a heading? That's also sometimes people want to know if you are heading north or heading south. This way you're driving down or up, north or south.
Mm-hmm.
That's, oh no, you can get that out of PVT. Never mind.
We should get
Yeah,
that.
Yes.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah. There might be a little bit of transformation. There's a query that'll give you back your what they call it, you know, basically the actual direction in terms of north, south, up and down.
something like this.
Yeah, something like that.
I think if we start at 0.0, then
Mhm.
will make more sense. So.
And that's we gonna lock only that current lock. We're gonna show. I think yeah, that makes sense.
Do we?
So when you switch it on,
is it being
it's
logged? Is the distance being logged, or is it only displayed?
I don't know if it's being locked. I don't think it's in the it's being sent to the API.
I don't think it's in the log file. I've never seen it.
Mm.
So same with heading. I don't think there's any heading in.
No,
log
it's
file.
not. It's not in the API file.
Yeah. So
folder.
these two would just be like values on the screen.
Yeah.
Then.
The satellites are recorded and the altitude too. They are. We need to have also what else? No, this is the most important things. If you come up with something else, we can go back and think about it.
Yes, I'm just thinking like, it would be nice if we can make like a 3-3 split, perhaps. Well, that doesn't have to. But...
Maybe 2. It's not that big, the display.
So-
No, I mean like 3 on each side.
3 on each side. Yeah, you can do that
Right.
too. Yeah.
Well, then we should like, I think longitude, latitude, longitude,
Or
altitude.
maybe
Right.
just a little bit bigger text.
Yeah, I think that's better.
So you're using satellites as your basic guide for positional accuracy.
We use satellites. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
because I've spent a lot of time with the GPS module the last week, and something that's available is also basically your positional accuracy, horizontal and vertical positional accuracy, which is another way of looking at how good your it actually relates to satellites.
Mhm. So what do you want to say with that, Michael?
Well, so one, yeah, I'll wait for Louis to get back. Trying to create a log for GPS.
Mhm. Basically, the latitude and the longitude are being sent to the API and recorded in the database.
Right.
So that's the
You
kind
don't-
of way what the use for positioning at the moment.
Is it and altitude as well?
Yes. The format, I think, it's in the Miro. I mean the fields we're using. There's, if you open up the Miro, you can see that. You should be able to see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Latitude was the horizontal position.
Same with me. Latitude, I think.
That doesn't really matter. I'm just
It doesn't.
writing some values in here. So don't want to end up in the sea, of course.
Probably Louis knows. Latitude
Yeah.
is this
I
way,
think
or
this is
is it
somewhere in the Netherlands. Oh,
somewhere in the
beautiful. Yeah, 55 is like
Mm.
kind of the position of the Netherlands. Around that area, at least. And then the altitude would always be 0 because it's the Netherlands.
Yeah, in Holland, or minus. You can go minus in altitude if it's below.
Yeah. Well, we can go
Yes.
plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Altitude could.
that's a choice. You can either say east or west or plus or minus. I would say east or west is probably less confusing because I can never remember which is minus and which is plus.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea as well. This would be something like this.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Except longitude can be up to 3 digits, right? Up to 180. So you need to leave some room there.
Yeah, it will fit on the screen. This is just
Okay.
a messy design, actually.
And the altitude is because
That's in meters.
meters.
We should put the units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 4 satellites. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
logically speaking, I think the letters will be too small. I think for the latitude and longitude. If you had see the screen, very tiny, I think. Then
It's tiny, but it's still readable.
Yeah.
Like it's not data that you need right away.
Directly, no.
That's why I decided on this.
Yeah, the distance and the
suggestion to put it
heading,
on the
yes,
right side.
yeah, you want to
So
see
distance
that.
and heading is nice. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm indeed going north. Right.
Okay. I guess one of the criteria should be that the lettering, since we have a bit bigger screen, the lettering should be at least the same size as the Nano. The Nano I find is readable.
But the Nano is the standard Nano is extracted to the top. It's basically an 64 screen, and they take 33 and they expand it up. They half line them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Good. I really didn't like that, so I'm using a different way.
Okay. I'm just thinking of it in terms of size, just at a glance.
Yeah, I do think the current is a bit small.
If you see this, The Nano I have is still readable. Can I share my screen? I could just want to show how it looks like. If you have a normal display, not a stretch out.
Yeah, you can share your screen if you want. I'll stop share for a second.
Oh no, I look at this one. That's easier, and then make it full. Second, can I do that? No, let me get the blur off. No. Oh, I cannot switch off my blur. Oh, well, hold on a second. Yes, I can do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot
This is
smaller.
easy readable for me. Yeah. Oh, it's flipped over. Sorry, you cannot see that.
No,
No, I see it. I see it.
It's readable.
Yeah,
I
it's
like it.
it's quite nice and it's readable. It's not stretched out and.
Mm-hmm.
What font is that then?
Oh no, this is an ASCII font. I mean, there's no font in this one, so this is
Right.
and it's even a shorter version of the ASCII font because the other one, the standard font has a lot more characters, so this takes less memory. This is ASCII only, so this is I think it's 5K and the normal one is 11K. So I saved 6K for that machine. For the Nano, it's a big win because I could do much more with it.
Right. Yeah. That's good. But what kind of font would we want for the drive screen then?
Yeah, then maybe you should take over the thing. Let's see. The font what we have currently, I like it, being honest. It's very clear and very simple.
Yeah, but it is a bit small. Like I have the
But this
font
one.
list here. So I think we currently use font 2. Is that correct? This one. For the screen. Wait, I can't see this. Or no, it's actually font 1. Am I sharing the font page?
Yeah,
Or-
I see the page from the font sample. Font 4, font 6, font 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think currently we have font height 8 for the small text for satellites, latitude, longitude, altitude. But we
Oh,
could
that's
use
fine.
like the
Yeah.
bigger font as well.
They can be a little bit bigger, but I think it's still readable.
There's also other fonts. I don't know if these are available on the core by default.
Yeah.
Like these. This is 12 pixels.
I think they
Which
are
is-
available.
They are? Okay.
7.
So this is like between 0 and 2. Font 0 and font 2. 12. So maybe this is also an option.
I think it's a cust. You have to call them up. They're not automatically installed, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's the same with the 7 segment font.
Oh, right.
The 7 segment is already in there. That's 7, so it's easy then.
Yeah, but that is by default the
Yeah,
48
the big one.
pixels, which
Yeah.
is quite big. Like we can only use that once on the screen.
And that's it. Yes.
And that's the main failure. That's what we want to show them, and then other failures have to be smaller.
What also should be on the screen, personally, I think, the device ID, so you can directly see which device it is if you take a screenshot.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know where we should put it.
I would suggest
Um,
putting it in the bottom as on all the screens.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right, let us build the bottom. just currently we have the time, and
Mhm.
then we have some status icons.
Status
Oh.
icons, I think we have 5.
Icons.
We
And then we
have
have
GPS
on the
status,
right
satellite
side,
status, Wi-Fi status, SD card, and tube status.
we can perhaps do, what's my device ID?
Dev ID, yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then this is the name of the screen.
Yeah, that could be, yeah, something like that. That would work.
Yeah, it's currently hard to see because, well, if you look at these, you know, it's a bit blurry. No, it's too blurry, I think. We don't have the status icons yet,
No,
but perhaps we have to increase the height of the status bar.
I think so, a little bit.
And we
Yeah.
also had this idea of a status message, which was on top of the status bar. But perhaps we
Yeah,
can
above that.
actually put a message in the status bar.
That's going to be crowded, I think.
It
if you put
is,
it there.
but
Or
I
maybe a
think
double.
if you make a special area, if you make a special area for the status, it's easier.
yeah, okay, then it would still be on top of the status bar.
Yeah, I think so.
But it would be nice if we can like show it's a separate area, that if there's a message, they can expect it over there.
You put it in reverse, like black on white.
Yeah, I was thinking
Doesn't-
that if be a pop-up, you could just have it, like you said, black on white.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
that's cool. I like that. Let's try that.
Yeah.
And then it could be like on top of the status bar.
Yeah, then it can be very close. Yeah, and a little bit off the corners. That's nice.
Yeah, we can start with some spaces as well, and
Yeah.
then it could
And
be
then
on
maybe
the
don't have the
side.
center. Yeah, that's good.
Does the display have a concept of layers? So you could have a pop-up just overlay and then disappear?
Yeah, that would be the rendering it at a later time.
Okay.
There's no layers, sadly. I tried that with the menu. As you've seen, if you open a menu, it had like a popover at first, and then the background would still be rendering. Like, you could open the menu and still
So
see
they
the
don't have
updates.
yeah. So
but
the current
to-
infrastructure layers.
No,
Yeah. It's
we
actually
had to-
supported. It's usually a hardware support thing.
Oh,
Where
by the way,
Yeah, we're about to run out of time.
Running out of time in a minute. I just saw that. So soon. So you still can go on. Yella, can you take over then afterwards?
Yeah,
The
I'll
recording?
host the next.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
How long do we have?
51 seconds.
That's enough. All right, I'll just post this over here. We would still have to think of some status messages and how long the status message would appear.
Yeah, if you want to allocate space for it and then don't put anything else in that space. That's all. And then if we have it like that, then the latitude and longitude and altitude and satellites can go down a little bit. So it is starting at the same height as the distance. That's nicer than, because now we have.
Yeah, I think it would be more like this as well.
Yeah, okay, then it's better.
when you do a screen share, there's always these Zoom things floating around, which are always in the way. It's terrible. All right. Yeah, I moved the things around. It should be
Yeah, that's nice. That's cleaner.
a bit like this. On the
Yeah.
screen, it will be easier to render, of course.
To align them, yes. I can imagine that. Let's wait till the other one come. The other one's coming.
The other ones.
The Michael and Louis.
Michael is here. Louis is here as
Oh,
well.
I didn't see. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hold on a second. I have my gallery now. My mistake. Sorry.
Happens.
Yeah.
Right. Then so as for the messages, I think they shouldn't stick around, like maybe like a few seconds at most. So it's clear when a new message pops up. Would you agree?
Yes.
I was I was not sure. Maybe the last message only showing, because if something happens and you're not watching, and you still want to see if there's an error.
Um,
An error would be red there, or some
yeah,
trouble.
perhaps. I was thinking, like, what if we change the name of the messages, like started logging. When you press start logging, it shows this status message, and then it disappears after a few seconds. And then if there is an error, it would pop up, and then if the error is gone, you would have like a clean screen again.
And if
Until
the error
something else
doesn't disappear, then the error stays there.
Okay, so a status message would
Yeah.
disappear after a few seconds and the error message stays stuck.
until the error is resolved.
Yeah, I think that's a good solution.
Okay. What would error messages be then?
If you lost your GPS, lost your GM tube, can't write. Can't write to
if
the
it's in
SD
fixed
card.
mode, no, this was driving. Yeah, if it's in a fixed mode, no API connection.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but for drive mode now, maybe survey mode.
So, okay, well, in drive mode, if you've lost your logging, if for instance, you can't write to the SD card for whatever reason, if you've lost either your devices, the Geiger counter or the GPS, that kind of thing.
Is that a status then?
I would be
no, it would be error message. Like
an
it's
error.
Status message is just letting you know, yep, okay, everything's okay. Error message is you have a problem, you're not logging, we're not, like you're not,
We also
data.
have like warning messages, and because I think error messages should be like there's no Geiger tube connect, like you're trying to log and there's no, or there's no GPS module.
Yeah. The way I used my bGeigieZen Nano, it's in like I call it the mobile mode and moving around fixed mode. I would like to have to know if it cannot send to the API in drive mode. That would be a warning for me. I would try to troubleshoot why I don't have connection.
Yeah, but then on a Zen on drive mode, it would not send to the API.
I would like to have the option.
Well, then you would go to fixed mode and put it on your car.
You go to fixed mode and then drive around.
Yeah, well, that's basically what you're doing then.
Yeah. That's fine too. Yeah. Okay, keep it in drive mode. That most people use it like that.
Exactly.
Well, if we can't think of anything for warning, just leave warning blank for now and just have no warning messages. but just keep that as an option for later.
That's also good.
I was
Like,
thinking no coordinates.
or weak satellite,
Yeah, that's good.
a weak
That's good.
GPS signal. So
Mm,
Yeah,
let's
I
say if
like
the
that.
if that
We
dilution of precision, the number of satellites drops to 5 or less, or dilution of precision increases, then you can just say, like, I don't know what's the user going to do with that. It's in the log.
yeah, and
maybe
it's
he's
also
gonna
on
try to find
screen,
a
of
better
course.
place. Yeah.
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Put the unit in a better place in your vehicle or
Mhm.
outside your vehicle.
True.
If it's not enough satellites, I would do that. Walk around and find another place.
Sure.
And I've seen Joe going around with things like this, running around with the nanos.
Yeah, but would we then give suggestions like change position or something?
No. That's up to them.
No.
I
right.
mean, just say that this is happening, and they can do what they want to do.
That can be pushed off to the user manual. If you see
Right.
this,
Yes.
troubleshooting guide.
But would we have that as a warning, or would we just like color these like satellites, or you would see longitude, latitude being 0, basically, if
Not
there's no
necessarily. Not
location.
necessarily 0. Just like you might
Oh.
get a fix, but it's going to be all over the place.
Right. Okay. So if the precision is
Yeah.
okay, so perhaps the precision, GPS precision, should be on screen as well, which is perhaps easier to see, like good GPS, low precision, no GPS or something,
Mhm.
instead
But the
of
GPS will have an icon, so you can see if it's green or orange or red or something.
I think that's a better way of doing it, because I noticed just walking around downtown Toronto that when I looked at the log on the map, it's just all over the place because of the multipass reflections of the big buildings. So that would be a good indication. It's like, hey, wait a second, like where
okay.
the fixes are confusing.
What if we have the satellites count next to its icon? I think we mentioned that last week.
Oh, I
And
like
then
that.
we have like a GPS.
GPS status.
What was something like precision or
Confidence
confidence,
or
perhaps.
precision.
Another data point that's available is the horizontal and vertical. You can have horizontal accuracy in meters is an available data point in the packets that we currently get.
True.
If you've ever used a marine GPS, it gives you a circle, and the circle is bigger or smaller depending upon your accuracy.
Mhm.
Not that you're going to do that, but
Yeah, perhaps we can put that over here.
Yeah, together with
or you
the,
could the dilution of precision has ranges that could be converted into actually they use good, bad, moderate. I forget what the ratings are. So you could convert the number into a status message that might have some meaning.
Yeah, I think that. Well, would you use then a status message? I think it's nice to have like a consistent messaging, just for like short status, like short information for the user, and then error messages. So I would put all the other information, if it is possible to put it on screen, put it on screen already, basically. So accuracy or precision, however we want to call it. We can color this as well, like.
It was in meters that Michael said, so the horizontal
accuracy. Yeah.
accuracy.
Yeah, but
You can
for the
put it-
user, we can use like accuracy as the concept, and then we can base the accuracy on horizontal accuracy.
Yeah, but where do we make the drop off? Which is good and which bad? I mean, where you make a decision?
That's for the implementation to decide, not for the,
Okay.
this is the design, of course. Like, I mean, it is a valid question. But for now, we can say like, okay, do we want like accuracy, like 2, 3?
Can I share my screen for a second?
Yeah,
Go
sure.
ahead.
I'll stop share here.
Where is it? There it is. This is how you decode the DOP.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's really simple between 0.5 and 2. General values.
yeah, I'm not, I think those
I don't-
numbers are a bit low. So I've been seeing some numbers coming off the U blocks, and this is even just next to the window somewhere. It starts getting good below 200, and it's quite good around 50. So I would just take those numbers and multiply them by 10.
I see.
Yeah, it might take some massaging.
Yeah, but it's a
yeah.
good start. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
go
can
back.
implement some, and then we can all test it out outside,
Yeah.
and see what works for us.
You know, but horizontal accuracy is pretty good gauge as well.
Why
Yeah,
don't we just,
let's just use that.
as the first pass, yeah, just use the number itself, and as we get experience, we can just.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's good as well.
So why don't you just call it
Um,
DOP and then just put the number. And I would put that next to altitude, just below altitude.
For people that are
Right.
not familiar with GPS numbers, though, the higher number is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna go, okay, where do I go to raise this number? Into
Right.
a tunnel?
Yeah.
Put it in a box.
Well, let's just leave that for now, because I expect that most of the people using this will be, like in the first pass, will be reasonably technical people. We hope.
Yes, I think so.
Yes. True.
Michael, what article was that you were looking at in Wikipedia? Like, it was
I don't, was that a Wikipedia thing? I just looked up, I just put in DOP, PDOP, HDOP,
okay.
and then Wikipedia was one article, but then I hit something, Morax Act. It says, what is DOP, PDOP, HDOP, VDOP, and where can I find whatever?
Right, okay. Well, I can look around.
I found that those numbers track with, here I am with it sitting at the edge of my window, and only getting very poor accuracy because it's only getting satellites from one side.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I've got a metal roof here, and
Oh yeah.
so I can only see satellites to the south of me.
All right. Yeah, I think this is fine then.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
We can always, well, we'll probably make a manual and then add these information.
It's all software.
Yes.
It's all software.
It's all software.
Well, we can always infer the values like accuracy, and then one would be 10, and then everything above 100 would be a 1 or something.
Sure.
Well,
yeah.
Well, we'll keep it like this for now. It's easier to work with.
Yeah.
And then there should be a link for the help with a QR code, I think. so you can just scan it directly, and from the device directly can go
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, I had that idea for the info screen. I think
Yeah.
it's
So
currently not.
only
Yeah.
QR codes, and then people can figure it out.
Just for the just one more probably very nitpicky, but for the device ID, should we just say Zen and then number sign or something like that? Or Zen and
Oh, yeah.
NO dot? Just
Something
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, something like that. That's even better. Yeah.
that way we know, I mean, first of all, somebody who doesn't know what the number means, plus if take a screenshot for later, and share it around, then
Yeah,
we know
yeah. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Thanks. Good one. So you are good at designs. That's there we go.
I'm writing for students who can't read. That's my job.
Yeah, so we have, instead of icons, we can just write some icons down, right? Well, what icons do we have?
We have, I think, 4 or 5. The GPS, the satellites. We have
The
the
GPS and
SD card.
satellites.
SD card.
SD card.
Right.
Yeah, we don't need a number with the SD card.
No.
Yeah, I just turned off my videos. My bandwidth just dropped.
That's okay.
GM tube.
GM, yeah.
What kind of icon would that be?
And like an radiation symbol, I think, something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, that's
easy.
great.
And then the GPS.
Little satellite.
Yeah, satellite is the first
first
one. I can make it sat.
Oh, or just a satellite icon.
Yeah, it will be an icon.
Okay.
They're all going to be icons.
I just don't have icons at the moment.
Yeah, no problem.
I just dropped a whole bunch of icons in the channel.
Yeah, I saw something like that. But for satellites and GPS, would that be okay for one icon? Because it's basically the same. Like we have GPS, and then the number would be
That's true.
satellites.
There could be one icon. Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That makes it, that saves space. Yes, and and then GPS then automatically includes it. The Wi-Fi should be there.
Oh yeah. But maybe only on the fixed mode screen.
Fixed mode. The BLE,
Right.
the Bluetooth should be on there.
Oh yeah.
What do you use Bluetooth for?
For going to a phone and then going to the API. People do
With
that.
I
a
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drive app.
Yeah.
Safecast
Or
Drive.
yes, Drive app. There's an Android app too for that.
Yeah, it's
Oh, is
called
there that?
Safecast Drive, I think.
Yeah, I had the old Android drive, but it won't work on my new Android phone. So
Oh,
Yeah, we should talk with Eduard about it because he made it. He was willing to work on it. He said. Let's see. I think that's it.
okay, cool.
It more or less is.
Battery.
oh,
Very important. Yes.
good one.
Hey.
You're absolutely right. Where the battery at? We could put the battery icon in front of the time, maybe. Like on your phone, you also have like the time and battery.
I would even have the battery on the right side completely. I don't know. That's my feeling. I can be wrong, but
Yeah, just like the time, right?
Mm.
Yeah, what we could do is
Oh, the time up there is also not so bad, huh?
up here.
Because that's an empty space we're using.
Yeah,
I would
well,
put it there even.
Time and battery, that would be like, well, I was thinking that that bottom that bottom row should be like a constant across all screens. It just
And
the
it's, yeah.
yeah, I think this will fit fine. Let's see, if we
Mhm.
just have status icons over here, and then we have a battery icon between here.
Mhm.
I'll just call it B.
or bat.
Bastian.
Yeah, it should be a little bit wider so you could have, multiple stripes in the as an
Yeah.
indication.
It
Or do you want
depends
the
depends on
percentage?
the icon, of course. Maybe there's
Yeah.
like a vertical icon that's like getting lower.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it could be.
I think the icon would always have the same size, but just empty, more empty
Right.
content.
Okay, so if you have vertical, or we could just put the percentage because we do get the percentage out of that power management chip.
Yeah, but then you still need like
Mm.
I think an icon, maybe the percentage next to it.
Okay. If there's room.
There will always be room. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
The drive is 50%. That is good. The drive doesn't fit there so much in there. I
Yeah,
think.
it's kind of weird. I think maybe we can put the drive actually in front of here. And then the status icons behind it. How would that look?
You
Wait,
first have the drive mode. Yeah, you see what mode you're in.
yeah, it's like the screen. Let me just add these in here. Okay. And then these, of course, these icons will be smaller than the text it is now.
Mhm.
So you always see like, okay, you're in the drive, and then you have, I mean, we can even
Status.
add like a thingy next to it. Wait.
We don't want to show the file that is logging to. No, that is too much. I
No,
think.
that's too long.
Mhm.
Yeah.
God. Jeez. No. I think I got
That's good.
something like this.
Oh, some little
Mhm.
bar or something like that.
Yeah, and at the end also a bar maybe. End of the
Bar.
status.
Oh
bar.
yeah. Yeah, it could be
Yeah.
like right here. Oh,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
although I think there will be a lot more room
Mhm.
because the icons will be aligned to the left and these would be
Mhm.
aligned to the right.
Well, let's see how that works. I mean, with the real icons in there, that maybe looks different.
Yep, that's true. Okay, I think this is something we can try out.
That's a good start. Yeah. And then for the, I think the drive mode, I think we kind of done with. Makes sense.
The survey, I guess it would be mostly the same.
The status bar will be the same, sure.
Yeah, I'll have to make like a new small template. I think this one. Well, I'll update it later. Maybe if we can add some icons in here as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, we have the microsieverts per hour,
And
and also the CPM.
And that's can be like millisieverts too. Switch if it's too much. One millisievert or
Right, yeah.
if we have to.
Oh, 30. But what other data would we want on the survey screen? I think having the location is nice, but the distance and heading is not relevant.
No.
Doesn't make sense there.
Anything else then?
Do we have
The
the temperature? Do we have that?
Sorry?
Humidity. Can we pick it up? I think there is a temperature sensor also in the.
Is there? I don't...
No,
let me check the schematic.
I'm not sure if the core has it. What else do you want in there? The status bar has to be there. That's
yeah, that's. I can just copy paste it.
Put it directly in there. We know what it is. Yeah. The dose has to be in there.
One second.
What else do we have? Dose.
Oh no. Lock. Okay. Oh, the dose, yeah. Oh, no,
Dose and
a becquerel. How many becquerel per square meter?
Yeah, what kind of... I think that we also use the 7-second font then. If I go to the survey now... Yeah, we currently don't have the smaller version of the 7-second, but that's okay. So we can have these... No.
Do we want to show the recording mode? I mean, on the Nano, there's an option to have a 60-second recording display or a 5 seconds recording display. So for survey mode, you would like to know directly that it doesn't read it out of the whole frame buffer. So the whole...
Yeah. Actually, this is not CPM. This is CP5S.
Okay.
Currently on the current Zen design or a screen, you can actually see it here.
You can switch it. Yeah, I saw it for a moment.
Yeah, it's a bit bright.
Per 5 CPS.
Yeah. And then we can show the other files as well. I don't know how to what the units are. Becquerel, I don't know. I think it's on a nano, right?
I've got the Nano here.
Becquerel square meter.
I've got, well, it flips back and forth. So CPM becquerels per square meter, and then it flips to, was it MX? Not too sure what MX, but it's microsieverts per hour. And what was the other one? Dose. And that's also sieverts, but it's a total. It's not a rate per hour. It's a total.
Total. How long since? I don't know how you can reset it on the SD card, but basically it keeps counting.
Oh,
it's basically like one of those badges that nuclear workers wear. It's basically it's a lifetime exposure.
Right. Is that something that we want to keep track of then?
Yes, I
for
think
the
so.
screen.
Yeah.
lifetime exposure.
Or just
Mhm.
basically total sieverts, or not too sure what you want to
Yeah,
call
it's
that.
microsieverts. It's in microsieverts.
Yeah,
total
microsieverts. Yeah, sievert's a big unit.
Yeah.
Okay. And that would be something like bang. That's my nano at the moment.
Okay.
But that's not data that comes from the data worker, because that only has like the past minute. So we have to store that data to the local storage then?
Yes, I think so.
Calculate it?
Mhm.
Okay.
And the local storage is, even when you switch it off, it's still there, isn't it?
Yeah, it says, and you can reset,
Mhm.
and then it resets it to 0.
There should be one option in the config to erase the dose or clean up the dose.
Okay, that just perhaps. Oh, don't want to do that. Stop.
You have something sticking out.
It's narrow. Yeah, something like this then. How many digits of microsieverts per hour?
Four.
So-
Or
Four.
5 digits. Yes, yeah, 4
Yeah,
after
5 digits, 4 after. Okay.
normally.
Do we call
Oh,
this
hold a second.
CP?
No, hold a second. We have on the nano, we have
Oh,
only
the nano
3.
is 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think on Robin's version he had 4, if I remember
Yes.
correctly.
Mhm.
Do we
Uh,
stick to 4 then?
If the first screen is also 4, I think the first screen is also 3. The drive mode.
It-
Oh, 4.
Well,
Mhm.
currently
Oh, that's-
indeed these, well, on the Zen at the moment, I was actually changing it this morning to 4.
yeah, 4 is fine. I think
Um,
a little bit more accuracy in that. That's fine.
yeah, you see on this screen there is 4.
Mhm.
Oh, that's how you did it. Just leave room for things. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was I did that too, but then I was like, no, there's too much white
No,
space.
it's not the correct way.
Yeah, I think from what I've shown here, like this is how it currently looks. Please, camera. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll push that like later today when I'm done with some other changes as well. Yeah, I think that's cool. Where's the Miro? Then we have some values. That's cool. And then as for the coloring, yellow is, wait, okay, green. We decided green is good, as in,
I think we have a list of that.
yeah, save correct.
Yeah, I noticed, by the way, that the coloring on the core and the core 2 are different.
Is that
The
so?
core is much more yellow, more stronger yellow. On the core 2, it's getting close to orange.
Yeah,
Me, at
because it is orange.
Mm.
Well, I think both are quite okay. If I look at the code, this will config. Yeah, it's TFT orange for active. Anyway, we have 2 different datas. Okay, So we have white, which is active and correct, which is when the CPM reaches the point that it's like after a minute of data, it has like a full 1 minute of like 1 minute bins, then it's white. But for example, for the icons, I'm just thinking, where would we use green on the screen itself? Like if we go to the drive screen, currently these are green, the icons, but I think maybe the icons can be just white or yellow or red, and then we can skip green perhaps. Just
No,
an
I
idea.
like the green also on it. I mean, just for graphically, if you have a green board and then that green comes back there, for me that feels nicer if some green is there. I mean,
Yeah, I remember you saying one time that, for example, the SD card, if you just written to it, it can like blink green.
no, that's also true.
So
Well, if you're logging, that's going to be, you're logging every second or every 5 seconds?
every 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Okay, so you pulse. Okay.
Yeah, the green will only be used for the status in our case, I think.
Yeah, okay, let's just go through this list again. So white is active and correct data. So if the whole screen is white, then it's basically all good. Right?
Basically,
and then yellow,
the principle is no news is good news.
right. Yellow active or fresh, that is incorrect.
That's incorrect.
No,
Yellow
stale.
is then, yeah, stale or incomplete data.
Incomplete, yeah.
Like the CPM is still building up, so it's yellow, and then
Yes.
it turns white. And then grayed out is inactive. That's for the button. Like on the start log.
Yeah.
It is grayed out because there's no SD card. I can't log. Right. Yeah, and then red is an actual error.
Yeah. Would that be include icons? You draw the icon in red?
Yes.
Okay, so
I
just
think so.
modify that one line to say text or icons on status line.
Yeah, but I was thinking, let's see.
Can we make the background from the status red if it's an error and white text?
Maybe for text this, and then for icons.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah.
Although for icons it would still be the same, except there. Although.
And I think for the message status, if you have a red background and a white text, it's much more alerting.
Yeah,
than...
for the message, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think where do we have status line? I think that the text and it's basically the same, but because it is text and icons. What's the gray 80%? Do we already use that?
No, according to me.
So how does Zoom work? You can't just keep re-upping your meeting. Somebody else has to switch off.
Yeah, it's only 40 minutes, and then you have to wait, I think, another half an hour, and then you can start a new one. So I started first, and yellow took over, and now I'm back again. Recording.
Yeah, something like that. I think you get 45 minutes, but you
Something
still
like
have
that,
to wait a while before you can start a new meeting. I will share again.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Let me just move some things around. Okay, so we had these colors for gray 80%. We'll figure something out. So white is the active and correct data. So all white is good. Then yellow is still incomplete. Grayed out, inactive, not percent, and red is error. And then green, I think these two.
Which two?
Let me just move them down because I'm not sure where at what point we would use green or orange.
In the icons for sure.
Yeah, but that would then also be like yellow would be the orange, like
No, that has to be different. I think
when do we have a warning in an icon, which is different from still or incomplete data?
I'm not sure. It feels like we need 3 stages of a status, but not yellow because although
yeah, yellow and orange are basically the same.
quite
I think
close, yeah. Maybe we can just yellow or orange. Make it maybe you're right. Yellow is fine too.
I think we currently use orange. Wait, let me just write orange here because that's what the current implementation is using. I'm just thinking, like, when would it green? Like, would we make an icon green, for example, the Wi-Fi or something, if it's connected? Or would then be white because it is active and like connected?
For example, the battery, if it's completely filled up, it will be green. That's my feeling. And I think personally, my feeling is still that the satellites, if they're enough satellites, and then they should be green. Still, I mean, that feels better for me.
Maybe like activity would be green.
What kind of activity? Like writing
like
to the SD
like
card?
writing or a battery being full. Maybe that's not really activity, but it's more like, I don't know, would you even want a green battery icon if it's 100%? I think just showing a full battery icon would be enough.
You want to
we can use the green for activity. If we look at the icons. Yeah, for example, the Wi-Fi, like if it's uploading, then it can be green and then it can go white again.
White again, yeah. If it's
or the Bluetooth.
Yeah. And if same for the SD card. If it writes, it's green.
Yeah. And then
no. If it reads, it should be green, and if it writes, red. No, red is a warning. No, in this case, no.
No. I think we can just use green, like read, write.
Yes.
It rarely reads, so just to make a different color for that, it's a bit silly. I think green
more like in the PC that you see.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I think this is okay.
Yeah, the green is better. I think so.
Okay, well, we'll just use that for icon activity.
Mhm.
though not the Geiger tube, because that's always active, right?
Do we want, for example, then if there is an on the Geiger tube, if there is a pulse coming in, do we want to flash that? So like we have currently the LED on the nano.
No, I think the tube pulses are not measured per pulse. Like we don't have an interrupt per pulse. We have a counter which is
Hmm.
ticking up every count, and then a timer which, or like an overflow. Then it
Mhm.
has an interrupt to increase the overflow count.
But if the counter increase with 1, then it's basically a pulse coming in.
No, but we don't have a callback for the count increase by 1.
Hmm.
Yeah, the counter just accumulates until we pull it out.
Mm.
So you don't
Yeah,
get the
in the
immediate.
counter itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd have
that-
to.
Sorry, go
um,
ahead.
I mean, if you could put an LED on there that responds to a pulse from the safe pulse,
Mm.
but that's increasing the component count.
Yeah, we don't want to put it on the count. And
I think I mentioned it last week as well, because I was playing around with the speaker.
Mhm.
We cannot do like a small beep per count, per click, I mean, because we don't get a click. Like we can do it, we can't do it in a cycle. We can't do it like in the interrupt or something with a small beep, because there is no interrupt until there's one interrupt for the overflow, and then it counts like an overflow, and then when you get the value, I don't know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I don't
So-
understand. There's a voltage level coming in from the safe pulse, and
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
trigger somewhere, and that trigger we can surely do something with it. I mean,
No, that
Oh.
trigger currently, because it is, wait, let me get the correct name, hardware counter. It is a ticker.
ticker, and we cannot see if a ticker goes up one.
No,
Well, the problem is
I
that
think-
you would have an interrupt. Let's say you do an interrupt on an edge coming in from the safe pulse. Now you'd have to run the interrupt service routine every time just to peg a GPIO pin to turn on the LED. Which means that kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a hardware counter that just sort of sits there and accumulates till you're ready to read the number.
Hmm.
Yeah, so if we want like a blink or like a speaker sound, we would have to do it through the hardware connection, or an extra component like an LED, or
Yeah.
And
I don't know
a
if you can.
555 timer. Please stay away from those things.
Just a cap and a diode and a resistor will do it too, and a transistor.
Yeah, exactly.
What we can do is, because we read every second for the CPM, just use that value for the next second of like blinks and beeps.
The length of the beep, or the length of the.
No, just the frequency.
So
Like
let's say you
use
had
some, I don't know.
So let's say, so when in 1 second, let's say you read 25, in the following second, you click 25 times in that second or in that minute.
Something like that.
Just a very artificial.
So it's
We
not
update every-
directly, but it's kind of representative
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not quite a.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if the the counts and I mean it's useful information, but I'm thinking it's maybe a bit much too kind of Hollywood.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's very dramatic.
I think in that case we can always like make it optional to add a small component to the board.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like
just an,
add your own LED for the Hollywood effect, or like your own buzzer.
yeah, because
I
we've
mean,
got
it's
the,
not required, but we can, like maybe on the next version of the board, we can add like thingies if it's possible.
Okay. But we have a groove connector come out, so we can make something on that too. We don't have to make specific thing. We can
Yeah,
attach.
but the groove connector is also like a bit of cables and
Yeah, that's
you
true.
have like.
plus the Grove connector is also going through the processor. What we're hoping
Oh, right.
for with
Yeah,
that,
that's
the LED is to go direct from the tube or from the safe pulse to a sound and a click,
That's true.
or sorry, sound and a pulse from the LED.
Mhm.
Because then now we'd have to add basically one of those piezo transducer and LED. And the other thing, we don't want to load down the safe pulse. In other words, we don't want that extra circuitry to mask pulses coming from the safe pulse into the core 2.
You could, if you have it's very simple, because we still have the split connector for the eye rover and for the safe pulse. So
Right.
there is already a connector there. So you can basically solder and
Just
something on
pack-
it that picks
Pack
up the
something
pulse.
in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That we can think about. This is not what we're talking about now.
No.
Yeah. Okay. The conclusion: we don't have LED
No click, no
or
LED.
on-screen clicks.
Yep.
That's the point. Okay, I think this is fine then. Then one more question. So the error or not present, which is grayed out. I was thinking, let's say I have this M5 Core 2 here, just Core 2, nothing connected. Should the CPM be grayed out in this case, or should it be red? Is it an error that it's not connected, or is it just not connected and should then be grayed out?
It's in the status from the icon. There's no Geiger pulse, so it should the status should be red for the Geiger tube. And then
All right, so the idea is, or the algorithm is that if a main module is not connected, it's an error.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the SD card is not a main module.
No, it's built in. It's not the.
No, I mean, like, you can still use the system without an SD card.
That's true.
So it would then, the icon, if the SD card is missing, would be grayed out.
Yes.
That's okay. I think inactive is correct. Not present. Where did the red go? Okay.
I think this is kind of basically it, isn't it? Or we have more things.
I think this is it. If I write it like this, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So grayed out is an
yeah.
option, like optional, not present, and then red status is like a whole thing is not present, and now I can't work. But in that sense, a GPS is a GPS required, because you can always just use the Geiger counter or the Zen as a Geiger counter without the GPS.
I think so.
What
Would we then make the GPS red or grayed out?
If it's in survey mode, then it's irrelevant. Well, it's not irrelevant,
No,
but
it's not
I think,
completely, because sometimes
Yeah.
you wanna know where it's.
I would say grayed out, just
Yes,
because
I
it's not
think so
critical.
too. Yeah.
Hmm.
In drive mode, definitely would be red, because that's defeating the purpose of the drive.
Drive.
But in survey mode, you're
Yeah,
just,
but in Drive, the SD card would also be required.
that's right.
So then it would be red.
Mhm.
But only if you want to be logging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you can't start the log if there's no SD card. So would you then always get an error message on the screen? There's no SD card?
That's a good one.
I, I think it needs to be stateful. As you come in, then if you don't have the SD card, then you should not have the option of turning on, right, the start logging. That should just
Yeah,
not be
that
there.
is true.
That's true.
But then would there still be an error message at the bottom of the screen that there is no SD card?
Yes, because that would explain to the user why they can't start logging.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that
okay.
logic. Yeah. It will be red.
So the colors would be different per screen. I think that would make sense also for like the Wi-Fi. Like we can have like a red icon on the fixed mode screen, but just a grayed out icon on the drive mode
Drive.
screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
You're writing it down?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. I'll write it down like this.
Mm-hmm.
So red is when are required.
Yeah.
For
So
the
now
screen as well.
Mhm.
Screen specific.
If you're already in Drive and you're logging and somehow the SD card disappears, then that's worth a big error message.
Yes, I think so
It
too.
would immediately stop logging,
Right.
as well as showing the message no SD card inserted.
Yep.
As it would show if you just turn it on and you enter drive mode. Start log would be grayed out,
Yes.
and there will be that same error message. So
Yep.
Okay. That's good. I can work with that. I'll
Okay.
make some code to work on these icons for colors. I have some ideas.
And but I was hoping that Josh had done something, but Joshua, but he didn't show up, so I don't know what the status is. Because I thought he would work on that, but
Yeah, the
okay.
icons themselves. I think Joshua can. I still want to give him a chance to
Yes.
work on it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just work on getting the colors from.
Yeah.
Like
That's
what
good.
colors do we make the icons, and then use maybe just one letter code or two letter code for the icons. Perhaps you can quickly do like a maybe 3-letter code. GPS.
Yeah.
GMSD, Wi-Fi.
I can make a mock-up for that quickly. Let me do that. Then you have some idea what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, but this is fine. Like I can write this on the screen at least.
This may sound very lame, but I found that PowerPoint is an excellent drawing tool.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, it sounds goofy, but it actually works.
I can make some.
And then you just basically
drawings
export
here
it
as
as a PNG and everybody's happy.
Look, it's a little cat.
Okay. I think just had a question for Michael. how far are you on looking at that uBlocks module?
Oh boy, I
Oh
put
boy.
in hours,
Hours, oh my goodness.
hours and hours,
Days.
and yeah, days. It's a wrestling match. So the one issue I had. So anyway, so I've really digested the manual and the uBlocks unit that we're using. Um, I have that little hardware setup that I showed you guys.
Right. Yep.
That is now it's a GPS receiver, um, uh, and
Yeah.
it's also logging now. But the thing is, you can only log you can only log one kind of packet at a time. So in diving into this thing, I realized that I was looking at the setup from that's on the GitHub, and there are a lot of the NEMA messages are still going through. We're ignoring them, but they're actually still
Oh.
by default. But the factory default, we're set up to read the uBlocks messages three different types:
Yes.
the PVT,
Mm-hmm.
the NavSat,
Mm-hmm.
and the DOP. But it turns out PVT pretty much has everything we need. Um, the only thing it's missing, and that's a 100 byte package.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing it's missing is um, satellites, acquiring satellites when you don't have a fix.
That's right.
Right. And the DOP we get positional DOP, so
Right.
it's kind of redundant to get if you get the DOP module, you get horizontal DOP, vertical DOP, and the PVT packet has positional DOP, has horizontal and vertical accuracy in millimeters, but we convert that to meters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've gone through and digested that whole thing. I'm trying to use callbacks. That's now working.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest issue I had was the Teensy 4.1 is a 64-bit machine. So the
Yep.
data structure that you have, that we have for GNSS data, I was getting really inconsistent results. I'm like, what's going on? And it turns out that when you have like bit or byte objects or Boolean objects,
Mm-hmm.
if they're not on a 64-bit boundary, it messes up the other objects.
Oh, I see. It doesn't try to byte align stuff.
Yeah.
No, what I was
Oh,
thinking, yeah, what
if
I
I
was
had
thinking
hair,
of,
I'd pull it out.
yeah, what I was thinking of doing is I've got a little bit of a logic analyzer. It's a picoscope that I'm itching to try. And the idea was to disassemble the bus on screen. And one of the things I want to do is to put a little GPIO pulse right where we call M5 update. So just before M5 update gets called, pulse that GPIO line high, and then bring it back low when M5 update returns, so that we have an idea of the frequency that it's running. And second of all, I just want to see the order in which those packets, and that's good information, by the way, that we could just do without the DOP packet and to get rid of those NMEA messages. I thought I had turned those off, but apparently not. Thank you for that.
Yeah, there's I forget what, I don't have that. That's on my Unix computer.
Yeah.
I don't have that command. I'll put that in the
in the chat. Yeah. Okay.
in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the idea is that is to find out exactly what's going on, and I could also maybe that SparkFun library is probably just maybe a little bit over the top for what we're trying to do.
I looked at other libraries.
Yeah.
It's the best library out there.
Yeah.
It's up to date with the spec.
Mm-hmm.
I've looked at some of these other libraries and they don't do, and they literally have a logging function. They have when you initialize it, you can set aside a buffer for bringing in packets. They've really, you know,
Okay.
I don't think it's overkill. I initially did,
Yeah.
but then when I started looking at other libraries, I go, no, this is really the library to use.
Okay, so we just need to be a little bit more careful in how we use it,
Yeah.
so that it's okay. So I guess my big issue with that, dilution of precision, is that in the nano, we're using horizontal dilution of precision, which is coming from the NMEA message from the, like the was it Adafruit or Spark? Yeah, Adafruit GPS.
Adafruit, yeah.
Yeah. And if there's a way of, if that figure of merit is kind of a loosey-goosey number anyway, can we just use the number out of the PVT message and ignore, and just reduce one packet and reduce the traffic on the bus? And the other thing I was hoping to do with that the logic analyzer is to establish the relationship between sending out the request and getting the response, and see if maybe there's a way of for the worker, when just to break up its job into, I'm going to send the packet and return no data. Next time I get called, oh, there's the packet. I'm going to send out a request and return no data, or not ready, whatever the status. Next time it gets called, check for the response. Oh, the response is there. I have data, and update that. That way we break up the time, the busy time for the GPS module, let other workers jump in, or or speed up the main loop.
So you want to move from having the GPS module auto send every second?
That's right.
To a request response.
Yes, but let me see. Let me have a look at what the traffic looks like on that serial bus.
Yeah.
And before I speculate any further.
So the one thing that document's missing is that for the module, for a factory default, what are the messages that are enabled? And so what I did was I just said I can't assume but see, people can save, they can plug that module into their computer and use that software, the Windows software, and they could change the saved configuration. And so we can't make any assumptions about what the saved configuration is, and I don't necessarily mean that we need to alter it, but maybe what we should do is make assumptions that all I need to, that's what I did with my code, was just like, all right, turn everything off, so literally the unit is not pulsing. So there's no auto feed at all. And then I turn on the PVT, just PVT. And I'm getting messages, 100-byte messages coming out every second, and I can handle that. And I actually have an interrupt, a timer-driven interrupt that goes, and it basically has to read that buffer. It has to empty that serial buffer, and it gets the messages, knows based on the header that it is a PVT message. Then I can decode that. And save the entire 100-byte message to an SD card. So I finally got that working.
Oh, awesome.
But that's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I originally was thinking to go to, if you go to the poll and response method rather than the auto method, then you also have to process the acknowledge messages coming back as well. And then, that now your serial interface up and down, you have now every time something happens, you have to acknowledge it, or it has to be acknowledged.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, that complicates things.
But now they have callbacks, so you can, it'll literally tell you, hey, in this mode, I've just received an entire PVT packet, and go ahead and decode it and save it.
That I tried that, and Yella, you might remember that we tried to basically figure out where to get the callback. I got it working with Robin's code way back when, and I can't remember how I did it. I think he's got his instances of the states actually are implemented as, I think, as singletons, and you can basically have a method that returns the pointer to that, or somehow it returns a pointer to the instance, and then use the instance to to create the callback, the actual callback address. And that's way beyond my understanding of C++.
Right. And then you have to. So I've been wrestling with this, and then that pointer, the data it points to, goes stale. Doesn't last forever. So
the pointer to the callback?
No, not the pointer to the callback. Once you get a callback, it says, "Hey, you have a PVT packet available."
Yeah. Yes.
The data that you're pointing to, it's there for a while.
Right, because they delete they delete the buffer as it go.
The buffer, it's a circular buffer, and
Is the pointer then deleted after a while, or is it overwritten, or
the buffer?
So, go ahead.
If you look at how they do it, when they've got a packet, they will allocate. They'll use new, allocate the buffer, and then when they're done, they actually delete. So it's
but I assume they allocate it for the buffer, and then they read it to their local memory structures. If you look at the library, they have like a bunch of like empty pointers that they will allocate the moment it's used.
Yes, but then they deallocate it right
okay
away.
They deallocate it again.
Right.
Okay.
So, and they're leaning heavily on the memory management, basically.
Yes. So like I said, it's an incredible library. But the problem I've had, so I'm not what that explanation I just gave you, I'm not 100% sure it's right, because I was wrestling with this 64-byte, 64-bit boundary at the same time. So I was like, what's causing this?
Right.
But I'm making some really good progress on that. And then the last part of it is to emulate the saved packets. The problem is I'm only saving PVT, not NavSat. Like I said, the only thing you get from NavSat that you can't get from the PVT is satellites when you're not in a fixed mode.
So,
and that's go ahead.
Yeah. So maybe that points to kind of a two-mode thing, where you ask for the PVT, you have no fix, then you fall back to asking for nav for satellites.
Right.
And
you
then
could do that.
And then again,
I
try
was
again.
thinking, like Lewis, based on what we tried, we see satellites, but we don't get the time from them. I realized that afterwards. Like the time that we get, the time that we get is actually from the PVT.
Yes.
Right now. So if we don't get those satellites, then we don't get the time either. I did see another function in data struct, which is the get nav time UTC, and I tried using that, but I'm getting a wrong time, basically.
So
I don't know which package is that. Do you know that?
Well, so the question is, if PVT returns no fix, the question is the time still valid? Because in theory, all you need is one satellite to give you good enough time. They all had their own atomic clock, and they'll be within, a few microseconds. Way more precision than we actually need.
Right.
So the question is the time valid even if the fix is not valid? I think it's what.
And there's separate flags for that. The date valid and time valid.
Oh, okay.
Are separate from location valid, and you do get an early. So you will get. So the way the code works is that I look at, is date valid and time valid? Okay, I can put together, so now I can set the RTC
Right.
based on that, and that works.
Yep.
That works
Okay.
fine. And there is also, you know, I said this horizontal positional accuracy and vertical position accuracy. There's a time accuracy as well. It's all in the PVT packet. It's a
Okay.
that 100 bytes contains a bunch of great information.
Okay.
Not that you would need it because you're like you said, what's the accuracy that we're looking for time? It's,
Yeah.
you know,
Tenth of a
tenth of
second.
a second. Yeah, exactly. It's fine.
Mhm.
So I'm surprised, Yella, that you're not. You should see date and time accurate way before you see a fix for your GPS, a positional
Yeah, but
fix.
for some reason I don't get a time fix. I do get, as I mentioned, I tried to use the other function that I found, which is get nav time UTC.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which package that is from. Maybe it's a separate package, because
It
you
might
also
be a
have to
separate packet.
enable it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to enable it. But the time I get from it is, well, right now it's like 1:43, and that's doesn't look correct.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
yeah. So you want the satellite time. You want it off
you
of
want
a
the satellite
PVT
time,
packet.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you want it off a PVT packet.
By the way, we
Okay.
have about 2.5 minutes left on this
Okay.
recording.
All right. So just to wrap that up, I've got a little bit more time this week because finally those courses are done. That was a mistake. I took on
Hey.
too much. Oh, just well, except for some of the last minute whining, but we'll deal with that. So I have a little bit more time now to look at it. So I think my first priority is to look at those NMEA messages. If they're still happening, they're cluttering up the serial port.
Mhm.
So,
Right. So the thing is with your setup,
Mm.
you know, just basically see if you can turn off that flashing blue light on your GPS. That means
Yep.
there's no messages coming. That's yeah, that was the big indicator. Like I said, I'll just give you that command
yeah, please.
so that
Yeah.
so say I want uBlocks messages only, and then I also say, all right, I can't assume that anybody hasn't saved an auto sending certain packets. So I turn off all auto sending packets except for the one that I want, which is PVT.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, folks.
That's good.
All right.
Good for me.
Okay, good for me too.
Yep.
So
Sounds good.
thanks
Have a good
for the
week.
time and
Next week I'm
like-
not available, sadly.
yes. Next week
yeah.
around the same time, or you want to do the normal time?
Sunday, that's going to be Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the
It's holiday. Oh yeah, I'm not available either. I got
Yeah.
my daughter's in town. Yeah.
Maybe we should cancel then.
Yeah.
the week
Well,
after is like New Year's Eve kind of
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So
That
Now,
too.
let's talk in the channel what's good for everybody, because we all
Okay.
have our
Yeah,
listening
'cause-
facilities.
Because starting with January to March, I've got my kid in ski racing, and I have to be on the hill by 8:30. So,
Oof. All right. It's a
Okay.
weird digital
it's good.
noise.
So let's see
All
what's going to happen.
So we can, while we're not meeting, we can at least communicate through
Absolutely.
Slack
Yeah.
and keep
Absolutely.
things moving.
All right.
right.
Well, have
Okay.
good holidays, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, you
everybody.
too.
Good.
have a nice holidays.
Right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.